up, my Vina loves? It's Miss Vina D coming to you all from Vina Entertainment News. So the Real Housewives of Atlanta episode tonight was very interesting. You still have Portia doing her best, trying to get back in with everybody, still trying to recover from everything that happened last season, and to many surprise, Mama Joyce stepping in there and, trying to bring peace to Candy and Portia. People didn't see that coming. And what she said was very, truthful about Candy having a big heart and a good heart. But I read a comment online that really makes sense. Somebody wrote that Andy or Bravo might have cut Candy an amazing check for her to just basically let the whole situation go with Portia, because there in no way. Yes, Phaedra told her something off camera. Phaedra did not repeat it on camera. Phaedra told Portia off camera. Instead of Portia pulling Candy aside off camera and telling her, she brought it on camera. There's no scene, there's nowhere where Phaedra said on camera what Portia repeated, saying as much as Phaedra deserved to get fired and Phaedra is in the wrong for doing what she did, Portia was the one who came on TV in front of a camera crew and repeated that. So as much as Phaedra got fired and all of the heat, Portia heat should be equally so. But like I always say, Portia got some good relationships over there at Bravo, because she and crossed so many lines, and Bravo still have her around. So I want to go ahead and go back a little bit from the beginning of the episode with Will. I said this over and over again. A lot of people are now starting to come around in support of Kenya more, and why they now understand that she don't want her husband to be on the show, because anything for a storyline, man, they just ripped this man to shreds. And Nene, talking about she wanted to have a conversation with Cynthia and all of that, and trying to make Kenya look bad. Kenya run her butt over there, and nah, Nene was wrong for the way how she approached it. Taking Cynthia to dinner after the fact should have been her first approach. Taking Cynthia to dinner. And then, you know what I'm saying? So Kenya was 100% right, and not because I like Kenya, I'm not being biased. A lot of people on social media said when the episode aired the week before last, that Kenya was actually the only real friend there, because she went to Cynthia and pulled Cynthia aside. She did not stand in a group and talk about her best friend. She did what a real friend would do, pull her aside and inform her what was going on. So let's get back to Will. I love how he addressed Cynthia in the car, talking about, I have my own, I got it going on, I have a house, I have you. So I understand the reservations and all of that Cynthia have, but these are the same. I'm jumping around a little bit, but let's talk about Portia once again having something to say. These are the same women that told lies. Portia sat there and made it sound very believable that Todd's nickname in New York was Marvin. Once again, repeating something she claimed Phaedra told her. Portia sat there and claimed that Peter was sleeping with everybody in Charlotte with absolutely no proof. The only video that ever came out was that video with Peter being close to a colleague. They're having a conversation. He's not kissing the lady. He's not doing anything inappropriate. But that whole video to me was a storyline, and Peter and Cynthia was in on it. That season, how ironic that the whole break, no video, no drama. And then ironically, the season's about to start and this random video come out of nowhere. So I believe that Cynthia and Peter was a part of it to create buzz on their storyline. So, but anyways, apart from that, there's nothing. And Cynthia even said it herself. You know, marriage is not for her. She never believed in marriage, but she loved Peter enough and went along with it. But that she would never get married again because it's not for her. You know, she wants to do the whole Oprah thing, just date someone for a lifetime and be happy because, you know, the whole paperwork and things like that is not for her. She said it over and over again that Peter did not cheat on her or do anything. You know, she herself does not want to be tied down. It's very independent, and the whole thing about marriage and how traditional it is didn't work for her. So she was the one who filed for divorce, and you can see that, you know, she keep repeating the same thing over and over and all of that. But I wouldn't listen to Portia and take advice or anything from Portia, because Portia is the same person that have lied on everybody. The other thing that I want to talk about, I'm going to go back to Will. You know, he was like, what have I signed up for? You understand what I'm saying? And it's like and trust me, I too said things about Will, not in a bad way. I said he's been on TV before, you know, he's done this, that, and the third. So it's understandable why certain people, you know, we have reservations. Now, I can't stand duck lips at all. I'm not here for her at all. But do you see how people behave when they are talking for someone that they like compared to when they are desperate for a storyline and will do anything to degrade someone they can't stand? The same thing that she said about Cynthia Bailey. Okay, if this was happening to Kenya Moore, her approach would have been different. Her approach would have been, I've been saying he's fake, I've been saying he's this, I've been saying he's that. And it would have been a happy day for her that Kenya Moore is going through relationship issues, okay? But because it's Cynthia, which we all love Cynthia, it was, don't listen to anybody. She's such a hypocrite, this Kim lady. Don't listen to anybody. Follow your heart. Do what's best for you, because my husband is, I don't know how many years younger than me, and I got all of this story, and don't do this, don't do that. And now look at us. You know, I met the love of my life and all of that. But this is the same woman who's talking about people came after her in her relationship. She's turning around and going after Kenya Moore and her relationship for a storyline. Like, the hypocrisy is so nuts. That same lady who sat in, you know, Bravo does this thing where the ladies now get to watch the episodes and then get to say things, you know, during that episode as it's recorded, almost like some or watch what happened live without the live and on TV, basically. In one of her interviews, she was talking about how, Kenya is talking about her husband all the time, dropping her husband's name, like she can't live or be without him. This is the chick that her husband have to wait for her outside. He can't leave. He's like an Uber driver. This is a chick who can't travel or just be self-sufficient without him. You know what I'm saying? I can't stand hypocrisy, and it's nice to know that everyone is seeing through her BS now and can't stand her. But anyways, so Will 100% solidify why Kenya's husband won't let me do the show. What I was going to say is, first of all, I'm not trying to sound so standoffish or whatever, but I'm not giving anyone on that show, if I was Kenya, any type of opportunity to think they can stand in the same room with my man and question him in any way. First of all, who are you? Do you pay our bills? Do you put food on our table? And for the people who say Kenya have questioned people, relationships and marriages, whatever the case might be, hey, I guess when you live into something and you know how nosy these people are, then you learn, right? And you do things differently. So I'm 100% sure, okay, that Kenya's husband could have made a trip. He don't want to be on camera. She's not going to just openly say that, oh, my husband don't want to be on camera. He doesn't want to be there, okay? Like, babe, you can come to New York and get a test done in New York without the camera. I'll be there with you. I can fly into Atlanta and go to the hospital with you without the camera crew being there. She's just using the whole we live in different cities things, you know, as an excuse. And then Kenya have to some way somehow be a part of an episode. I mean, she have a pitch, she just can't go missing. I mean, yes, Nene have gone without an entire episode showing her and all of that, but you know, Kenya have a pitch, she have to throw something in there somewhere, even if it's for 2 seconds. So that whole scene was just forced. Even though I'm a Kenya supporter, it was forced. It was just, you know, Kenya, you have to come up with something since your husband can't film. You know, now most people were saying, you know, Kenya, you're 47. You know what, she was 46 then. Are you sure it's not just menopause? You know, because you are at that age, or you are getting at that age and at that age, or are you sure you're pregnant? I also agree with the people who are saying you can pee on a stick and find out you're pregnant, which is true, but I completely understand. You know, I'm on this show, I have signed a contract, I'm obligated to bring them something. The person who's supposed to help in this process does not want to be on TV. I have to come up with some type of you know, storyline to keep me on the show. I'm not saying Kenya going and getting treatment in Barbados or wanting to have a baby is a storyline. I'm saying as far as storyline, as in not fixed storylines, real, but as in creating material for the show. Because eventually it's going to be like, okay, have a nice life. You can't just, you know, be on the show. Like, common example, last season, before last season ended, out of nowhere, Phaedra created this hatred and drama, and one of the rehash issues she and Kenya went through, because the producers pulled her inside and said, look man, this whole, you know, freaking frack situation is funny and all, but we need to see more from you. You and Portia laughing around and having a good old time is not enough. You have to bring something to the table, or else you gotta go. And so Phaedra, being smart, was like, you know what? People are forgetting about Kenya. One of the reasons why Kenya is the most hated is because of the lie she and her husband created for over 2 seasons that Kenya up for him. Exactly, which was a lie, and which he confessed later on that he lied on Kenya. So Phaedra was like, I'm gonna go ahead and rehash this whole situation so America can, the new audience can go back and hate Kenya even more, and I will do anything for money. So that's why people they didn't buy it, because it came out of nowhere. One moment you're hugging it out, to the next moment, I hate you, you threw me a divorce party, I never forgave you for what you did, and what my ex-husband said. But then before then, you guys were praying together and all of that. So people were doing anything sometimes, you know, to create a story to stay on the show. Kenya, on the other hand, she does want to have a child, all of that, but that whole scene, even though I'm a fan and supporter, was unnecessary, because yes, you need to go, yes, you pee on the steak first, right? You find out that you're pregnant, then you go to the doctor and do your blood work and make sure that they confirm that yes, you're pregnant. So it's not really that complicated to go through 2-3 episodes. I'm not saying it's going to drag that long, but they were like, you know, to be continued, we're going to talk more about this, but it don't take that much to find out if you're pregnant or not. So that's that. But I understand now. You guys remember about this whole blowout that they claim Kenya had with the producers, and she quit the show and all of that, and that's why she didn't go to Barcelona. So the whole situation where Kenya was like, I'm just going to go ahead and spend time with my husband. I've gone on 2 trips with these ladies, and Kenya have gone on worse trips and still showed up to every single trip, okay? So it's a cover up, because it's a cover up because they don't want to ruin the show. They don't want to ruin if, you know, Kenya got fired, if Kenya quit. You know, they don't want to ruin the moment. They just want people to think whatever. But it doesn't matter how disgusting these ladies have been to Kenya. She makes every trip, even if she shows up late. You know what I'm saying? The only thing I would say that she didn't, even when her grandmother died, she still showed up for her, and she had to leave a few hours early. So Kenya is always on all the trips. So something bigger is going on that they don't want to reveal now. That's going to ruin, you know, the show. Now, Portia dinner and all of that, and everybody discussing Cynthia, and Cynthia walking in the room, and yeah, I didn't care for the dinner, but Milo, Milo, I can't stand Milo, but hey, I don't. But when she was, hitting the glass, and she said, made a comment about Portia African, buying her real china. And Portia got a little upset and said, I pay for everything in this house. And Portia tried to throw shade back because Milo talking about she's going to the nursing home, which made perfect sense because people always joke that Milo date older white men, sugar daddy, men that could be like granddaddy. So the whole nursing home 24-hour visit situation was a joke, which made sense. But once again, I'm always going to bring Kenya up. Everyone laughed. You go to Milo page, people are laughing, no big deal, okay? If Kenya Moore has said that in the same setting, joking, it would have been a firestorm. Why is so hateful? Why is it this? So my thing. So even if the whole situation is true, Kenya not going on the trip, I completely understand. Now, back to Kim not going and her 100, I always say 150, right? 150 excuses about why she couldn't go. Man, Croy. I hope you're happy, and I hope, whatever you've signed up for, you stay there forever, because I don't think Kim is going to end up on the news if Croy ever leave. Like, if they ever go through a divorce, she would end up on the news, and not in a good way. Yeah, or on that show. What's the show name? Snap? Yeah, she would end up on an episode of Snap because she, Sheree tried to wrap it up in a bow and make it sound beautiful, which is crazy to me. These are the same women that are constantly coming for Kenya Moore. Oh my God, just because you're married doesn't mean, But yet, here's Kim and Sheree, the way how she approached Kim, she have it wrapped up in a pretty little bow. If I had a man to chauffeur me around and do A, B, and C and pamper me and spoil me, I'll do the same thing. She is so far up. What's her name? You know what? That, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, Kim, I hope Croy, I hope you're happy and just stick around, because the way how she depends on him, like he's a security blanket, like she can't survive or do anything, which there's an extent to love your spouse. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with loving your spouse and all of that, but there's an extent, and she is not self-sufficient without him. It was Big Papa, and then it was Croy overlap with Big Papa. So her being on her own 2 feet just by herself doing it, yeah, we have yet to see that. But Nene, oh my God, Nene was going in talking about the guy got butt implants and all of that. I was like, what is going on? And she repeated it and kept saying it. I'm like, what is the fascination with his butt? Because Kim used to make comments about Croy, her husband, butt and all of that. But Nene repeating the butt implants and all of that just had me dying. Cynthia meeting up with Peter and they talking. You can still tell, there's love there, and you can still tell there's love there, and they care about each other dearly. But like I said, Cynthia loved her independence, and so she loved her independence. And what I said in the past was, there are other people that have millions of dollars and billionaires. They don't have that by coming home at 5 p.m. every night. Some of them are businessmen and they have to travel constantly. I'm not saying driving a few hours up to Charlotte. I'm saying traveling to different continents. So Cynthia girl, the whole excuse of we don't spend time together, Peter is always in a different state and I'm here was a poor excuse for a divorce. Something deeper happened. Even though it wasn't cheating, Cynthia said she fell out of love. Once you fall out of love, then yeah. Once you fall out of love and you're not attracted to your spouse anymore, it's a wrap, okay? Because love will help you withstand any obstacles in your life. Because Charlotte is so close by, that girl could be in the car, okay, going to view her husband and see her husband. That's how. Do you see Candy sitting in one spot? No. Candy's always on the go, on the grind, hustling, and they're married. That's what a partnership is about. You're not always going to be in the same spot. Even Cynthia Bailey herself, she's not always at Lake Bailey. She have to take her shades, go to pop-ups, like do stuff that business people do if you want to make it. Going like Kenya Moore was at the hair show this weekend.
Hey, it's your girl Kenya here. I'm telling you guys now, I will be at the Bronner Brothers hair show this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. I will be at booth number 1415, so make sure you come and see me and get your Kenya Moore hair care.
You have to go out there, set up your table, sell your products, network. You have to hit the ground running and do the work. This whole excuse, oh, he lived in a different state, we don't see each other. That wasn't the reason why, because Cynthia is old enough and have lived enough life to know that, in order to make a relationship work, you have to grind and, it's a partnership. And common example, her sister who was on her case to not marry Peter. Her sister husband played basketball overseas for years. I don't think he's still playing. That means he was on a different continent while she was at home by herself. Why Cynthia didn't bring that part up when she talked about Peter not seeing her, then the sister's like trying to support, like, girl, your husband was barely with you. And I'm sure you took a lot of trips going over there to see him and be with him. So, that's what I'm saying. The only part I would say I agree with Doug Lips on was the part about following your heart and doing you. And that's it. Because sometimes when you have too many people in your business, too many mouths in your decisions, it clouds your judgment. Sometimes you just want to step away from everything and everybody and just chill and figure things out for yourself, and that's why but that whole scene with Cynthia and Peter was cute. You can see that, there's still love there, the way how he looks at her and all of that. I don't know what's going to happen with her and Will, but we shall see. See, Bravo and Andy and them can't stand Kenya, but Kenya is good TV. And also too, every time Kenya is on Watch What Happened Live, the hate was so much, but Kenya kept responding with love and smiling, being intelligent, just being a great person, going on the show every time, to the point where Andy had to say to himself, why do I hate this lady, so much? Why am I picking sides? Every time she comes, she's nice. She's laughing with me. No matter how low I go, I'm just going to go ahead and let it go. I say all that to say that the producers don't like her because every single chance they can get to do a flashback, even if it's from ages ago, they will. But when it comes to Nene and certain people, for some odd reason, they can't find those flashbacks. Common example, when Kim was going in on Kenya for coming for Sheree's house. That would have been the perfect moment to do the flashback when Kim called Kenny's house mansion, mind you, and Kenny is worth more than all of them on that show because she's a legend way before the show. That was a perfect time for Bravo to flash back to Kim telling Sweetie to lock her car, insinuating that Kenny lived in the ghetto and that her car was going to get robbed. She has so much to say. She had to say the mayor of Atlanta lived right down the street. So what are you saying right now? So that was the perfect moment for Bravo to flash back and show Kim for the hypocrite that she is. But anyways, I'm saying all this to say, the same way how Kenya was placing all this drama because she said Apollo was fine, Nene have openly said some things and flirt with Peter and all of that, and said if she wasn't married and Peter wasn't married to her best friend at the time, which was Cynthia, that she could see herself dating him and how handsome he was. She used to flirt with Peter all the time. But for some odd reason, when Kenya brought that up, Bravo couldn't find the footage. Last night again, when she was comparing who she think that Cynthia should date, should it be Will or Peter, she was talking about how attractive he was. Last night was a little better. It wasn't over the top. My point for all that was to say, I'm not excusing or saying it's right to flirt with someone's husband, boyfriend, whatever. I'm just saying that people just need to realize that there's a hatred for this woman, Kenya Moore, which I don't know why, okay? Because everybody else does crazy things on the show. Just accept that there's this hatred, because when other people do the same thing, it gets swept under the rug like, oh, no big deal. When she does it, it gets dragged into 10 seasons of scandal because of the hatred. And I just think it's because of, and I admire her strength, that no matter what, I am going to keep going. I'm going to keep living my life, and in the end, I'm going to be blessed. And most of the people who came for her are not doing so well right now in the departments they attacked her on. So that's the only reason why I went on that little rant and brought that up, that there go Nene flirting, and nobody says anything. But let it have been Kenya saying she think Will is attractive, and if she was this, that, and the third, they would have rehashed the whole Apollo situation again and said, oh, you're married and you call another guy attractive. But when Nene said it last night, it was regular. Nene is married. She's securing her marriage. Just because she calls someone else attractive doesn't mean she's going to leave her husband and go and be with that person. Why can't people use that same logic when those same words leave Kenya Moore's mouth? Is all I'm trying to say. If it was Kenya has said that last night, it would have been, here we go again. So that's the only other point that I wanted to bring up. But for the most part, I think it's a few more things we didn't cover, and then I'll be done. But my point is that, what else did I miss? I didn't miss anything. Sheree still, renovating certain parts of her house. She's going to be doing that house for a long time, but it's livable, okay? So at least the lady is in it, if that's what she said. So at least she's in the house. What else? Them, Marlo and everybody else joking up a Portia drapery and all of that. I'm trying to make sure I don't forget anything. Nene and Greg moment, and then Nene going on the trip. And then next week it's going to be, of course, Candy went as well. And it's going to be the whole Roachgate, okay, and all of that. So it's going to be interesting to see, because my girl, like Candy said, that trip is not going to be the same without Kenya. So yeah, man, that's about it. The only Kenya wasn't in the episode, but like you see, I threw her name in there a lot because they come for her so much that when I see something where they're being hypocrites about, I have to speak on it. So that's why her name came up a lot. But Cynthia, don't be naive, but continue to be the sweet, down-to-earth, beautiful lady that you are. Nene will always be Nene. Butt implants. I still can't get over that part. I can't. But that's about it. I don't think I missed anything. I talked about Mama Joyce and everybody else. So if I miss anything in the editing process, I'll add it. Alright, my friend, loves. That's about it, man. I'm looking forward to next week's episode. I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I'm wishing you all an amazing day. Remember to always have a God bless attitude, which is being positive at all times and seeing the good in every situation. Have a great day, guys. God bless.